Hi, I'm Kalyn, your abundance coach. I believe in abundance. I am abundant myself because I have 3 businesses. I have an abundance of love in my life, and I wake up, I'm happy. Life is good, and in today's video, I'm going to talk to you about the fact that I have and you can have a successful relationship. A successful relationship to me means a loving, lasting, wonderful relationship where I'm happy. I enjoy being with my husband. We're not in love like when we were teenagers kind of thing. Not that we were teenagers at the same time, but we really are happy together. We want to be together. We're not like other couples I see that are just sort of living parallel lives kind of thing. We're really happy together. We're not like couples who fight in front of each other. In front of other people. That's always amazing to me. People who like talk over each other or fight in front of each other and put each other down while you're sitting there kind of going, oh my God. So today we're going to talk about 2 things to create a successful relationship for you. In this video, I am joined today by Oberon, my owl. And he's here because he's here as a symbol of wisdom in our relationships. And a Zen thing that I do at night is I crochet, and I crochet owls. So Oberon's joining us to remind you to be wise about your relationship and to remember the 2 things we're going to talk about. So let's get started. Let's get to those 2 things. Let's get you a successful relationship. Well, the number 1 thing is, when I was first getting together with my husband and when we were first married, or that kind of thing, because it's been 16 years, so in the Wayback Machine, one of the things that I was told is that clearly I didn't want a relationship. My spiritual teacher said, you want a spiritual partnership. A spiritual partnership is very different than a relationship. So that's the first thing I want you to consider today. A relationship can be with anyone. I have a relationship with my daughter. I have a relationship with her teacher, You relate to people all the time. A spiritual partnership is so different. That implies some different things, like we're partners in life. We're partners in our dreams. We're spiritual partners because it's not just the part of intimacy or the part of the fact that we have a marriage certificate. It's so much more. It's our lives, it's our spiritual sides. We share all of ourselves with each other. So we come together in a spiritual partnership. And, it's just a very different way of feeling about and thinking about our marriage and our union. It is so much more because it's not just the checkbook. We have a joint checking account. It's that we recognize that energetically our worlds are merged. Our 2 individual worlds have come together to create something bigger. And so, when you think of it that way, our souls, there's so much more going on. If you want, you can say, well, and it makes sense. It's true. We're soulmates. So a spiritual partnership, you can get a sense that you are far more vested into it. And your partner is too. And just that alone, can you imagine how much that changes? So you don't want just a relationship if you want something that's fulfilling, something in which we will both at almost the same time, if not right within days, maybe weeks, but usually within days of each other, we'll have the same desires. We have so many shared ideas and dreams and things that we build together. For example, one of them was, after living in Santa Fe, New Mexico, the land of enchantment, which was wonderful, and it was enchanting for 10 years, all of a sudden, within days of each other, we kind of woke up going, it's time to move. And there's nothing better than deciding that together, than having the common desire. Because can you imagine, what happens when you start to feel like, I want to move, he doesn't want to move. You start to feel stuck. There's no place of stuck in a spiritual partnership because you can't help it. You have really come into the same flow. You're on the same wavelength. So that's real important. And like I said, how do you get there? One of the ways is you redefine what it is that you want. Now, the second thing that I wanted to talk to you about is a second way to really get into that spiritual partnership instead of just a relationship. And that second way is to have your priorities in place. So here's what I mean by that. One of the most important things to me in my life is making sure that I am feeling good about the person I am. I need to go to bed, put my head on a pillow every night, and feel like I did my best, like I'm working on things, like it's all good. I need to wake up feeling excited, feeling like today's going to be a good day. I have the opportunities to be who I want to be, to expand into the things I want to expand into, to do what I want to do. That's my number one priority. And then my next priority is my marriage. And that's because then I can take my priority and share it in my spiritual partnership. The next priority is my spiritual partnership. That doesn't mean that like I've got a ball and chain kind of thing going on. What it means is that I have made love a priority in my life. And because I'm my first priority, I have something to share. I have something to give. I am me loving in my relationship, as opposed to when we kind of have our priorities out of whack, what happens is we tend to want the other person to make us feel better. We rely on them to tell us that we're great, or, we get these agreements going on where things are a certain way and it has nothing necessarily to do with me and my ability to wake up in the morning and feel so excited about my day, feel good about me. So you want to have your priorities in place because you should always be your first priority. I love to use this example, and it's so apropos. It's sort of like the oxygen mask on an airplane. The way they always tell you that you first want to put it on yourself and then you can assist another person. If you aren't in good shape, you don't have your peace that you bring to a spiritual partnership. So number one priority should be yourself, maintaining yourself, making sure that you are in a great place. Number two priority, love, your spiritual partnership. When you are sure that you have their back, they have your back. When you're sure that you're loving with your partner, they're loving with you. Of course, that has everything to do with law of attraction. Because basically what we're saying is, number one priority, yourself. Law of attraction says, oh, your energy's good. Look at you. You're happy. Look at you. You're excited. Look at you. You're in the flow of well-being. And I don't expect that you're perfect, but it doesn't mean that you can't work towards it. It doesn't mean that you can't take care of yourself. You want to take care of yourself physically so that you feel healthy, emotionally so that you feel happy, mentally so that it's all good. You've got some great plans in your life. You're doing what you want to do. When you take care of yourself in these ways, law of attraction's like, oh, I can work with that. I can bring you healthy things, a healthy person. I can bring you happy, a happy person. I can bring you some great plans. So you're using law of attraction well by first focusing on you. You're also using law of attraction really well by making sure that you are loving, that when love is your priority, you're taking really great care of your relationship. And I'll talk more about what that can look like in other videos. Next, I want to tell you some of the secret that I'm revealing within that priority. I want to give you some history in and of about it. So here's my history for you. Growing up, I always had boyfriends. When I was in 8th grade, which puts me at about the age of 14, I had an 8-month relationship. Is that crazy? I mean, my mom must have been freaking out. And frankly, that was the first in a string of relationships. Back then, in high school and college, I prided myself on the fact that I had spent like a month single. Now, a lot of psychologists are going to be like, oh, that's a sign that there's something wrong. And they're not exactly off there. But what it does speak to was my ability to understand how to have relationships. My boyfriends were always dedicated to me. It was very rare that either they broke up with me or we split on mutual terms. Generally, they really were dedicated. We had a very loving relationship. And one of the reasons is because I made it a priority. And my girlfriends would look at me and kind of go like, they couldn't get a boyfriend, period, or their boyfriends wouldn't last very long. And here I had one, like in high school, 1 year-long relationship after the next. I only had a handful of boyfriends throughout all of those years because I had these really wonderful relationships in which we were like each other's confidant, we were each other's best friend, because we could really talk to each other. We really shared ourselves. And that's where a spiritual partnership comes from really sharing your heart and your soul, from being all that you are, being authentic and putting that forward. Now, some of that might sound obvious, but it doesn't mean that people know how to do it or that they do live that way. So I want you to really think about that, because coming from someone who has been happily married for 16 years, even now my girlfriends look and they're like, clearly you don't have problems in your relationship. You know, they look at both of us and they see that we're very happy. We love being together. We work together. We're dedicated to each other, and they kind of look and kind of go like, I wish my husband, acted that way, did that way, looked at me with those loving eyes kind of thing. Once we had been married, I think it was for a dozen years, he proposed around the 11th year and asked for us to renew our vows. How romantic. It was so wonderful. We had like this dream vow renewal on the beach in the Mayan Caribbean in Mexico. So, your life should be filled with these kinds of things too. With the romance that you want, with the dedication, with the ability to open your heart and your soul to each other. And so I want you to get a sense that I understand these things, and that's really been the way I've been living all of my romantic life, all of my semi-adult life, because I really started before I was an adult. And if you want to have that kind of love in your life that runs through your life, love that, what teenage boy dedicates himself? Now looking back on it, I'm like, wow, I don't even know how that's possible. And yet that's what I experienced. I want you to have some of that. So the secret to having a successful relationship really lies in what you do, how you do it differently. For example, when I was in 12th grade, my boyfriend and I, there was another couple, and the other guy would look at my boyfriend and kind of go like, how do you do it? How come your girlfriend brings you lunch? I would make my lunch and I would make him lunch. Why not? I was making lunch. Silly, and perhaps you've heard the way to a man's heart is through his stomach. That wasn't what I was up to. That was only one of the things I did. I did special things for him. And other guys looked at him and kind of went like, how do I get my girlfriend to do that? And it's not the thing. It was really the energy behind the thing. It was really the way I did it. It was the heart that I put behind it. Because I really treated us like we were special in and of ourselves. We were special to ourselves. It's not because I was out to be a celebrity of any sort. And I honestly never thought of myself as being a celebrity of any sort. I honestly didn't really pay attention because I didn't care. That wasn't what was important to me. The priority was enjoying my boyfriend. The priority was having fun things and doing things together and, all the great things. In high school, my boyfriend over the summer went away and he came back. It was really cool with this little marble ball, and it kind of looked like a world. And he was like, you mean the world to me. I'm not saying that you should be receiving a corny gift like that or a very sweet and romantic gift like that, however you look at it. I am saying that you should have the love or the romance or the dedication in your life that you want. And the secret is in you. Look to you. Redefine. Don't seek a relationship, seek a spiritual partner. Be a great spiritual partner. Make sure that your priority is love. Because when you look at the other person lovingly and you treat them lovingly, what that means is you don't get mad and come from anger. You don't take out your bad day on them. It means you stop and you look at them for who they are and you appreciate yourself and you appreciate them. Then you're going to change everything because you've changed your priorities. One of the easiest ways to get into the flow of life, and certainly into the flow of love, is to have your priorities in place. And really good therapists will tell you that as well. That's one of the ways that they look to help their clients or their patients. Make sure that your priorities are in place. When you come first and love comes second, and then other things come after that. Work comes after that, other family comes after that. What happens is you're taking care of things in the right order. You're taking care of things and assigning your energy first to yourself, then to your love, to your spiritual partnership, and then to your work or whatever comes next. You know, there's a certain order to things. Then you automatically start to put yourself in a better flow. Just ask me. I have years of being in relationships. As a matter of fact, I mean, I've clearly spent most of my life in relationships. Probably, I think you could say I spent the first 14 not being in relationships, but since then, I have spent very little time not enjoying love, dedicated love, love where my husband would do anything for me. He always buys anything. All I have to do is say that I want it, you know. And it's not because I'm spoiled. It's because I don't ask for things that are ridiculous. I ask for what really is going to make my heart sing, and he's always happy to make my heart sing. And the same is true the other way. I'm always looking to help him. I'm always seeing how I can help. I always do things, not because I have to kind of thing. I mean, like if I don't want to make dinner, I don't make dinner. But if I make dinner, I make it so that it is nutritious, so that it's something we enjoy. I mean, you know, then I really put my heart into it. And it's not because I'm going around efforting. It's because it's a priority to me and I treat it like a priority. It's because I'm doing it because it's important to me. Only do what's important to you. Don't bother with what's not important. When you do what's important to you, you naturally don't have chores or things that you have to do. You naturally move into doing things because you want to do them, because they're important to you, because they're meaningful for you. And then before you know it, you have brought meaning into your relationship. You, with your priorities, have switched your relationship into a spiritual partnership, and you start to experience the love, the dedication, the heart-touching, soul-stirring relationship at a spiritual partnership level. And there is my secret for a successful relationship for you. If you like this video, please be sure to subscribe, because I will do some more videos on a spiritual partnership or relationship. And please hit like for me if I've changed your mind, if I've gotten you to think about something differently, if you're going to switch your priorities, if you're only going to do what's important, if you're going to decide that yes, you deserve romance, love, dedication, a greater level of enjoyment, or if you've just decided that fighting in front of other people is not that great of an idea. You know, instead of putting yourselves down, raise yourselves up together. If that's what I've helped you think about, please do be sure to hit like. And if you need more help,